Good time. Because it's Thursday night. You know what we do every Thursday night, Brittany Renee?
Straight from the gut.
We're talking straight from the gut. Every Thursday night. We're getting started right at 8 o'clock, right on time. Is that your reminder, Brittany Renee?
That's you.
Go ahead and get it down. Get it down.
Got it.
Are you on here?
We're on. Who's on with me?
Hey, Ryan Mudd. How are you, friend? Sammy Swift. Good to see you today. Hey, Alan. Kent Warner. All my friends popping on here. I appreciate it. Tonight, I want you to ask yourself this question over and over. What is your greatest regret? I'm going to get to mine. But before we do that, I do want to introduce Richard. Happy birthday.
Hey, no regrets. Have you seen that?
The tattoo?
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for joining. If you don't know me, my name is Tommy Davidson. I go by hashtag GTT, GoodTimeTommy. Please I need comments. And if you would be so kind to share my stream. The reason why I'm asking you to share my stream is one of the things I really want to do is help people with real estate, also in self-improvement. And I've got a goal to reach 131,000 people in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Jeremy Weaver, how are you doing, friend? Thank you for getting on here. So please share the stream. If you share the stream, me and Kathleen do go back and we review who shared. And if you're chosen, you could win a gift card to the Alley on Main, $25, my favorite restaurant. And also, if you're a responsible person, I am giving out a free ride, a free day on my slingshot, as long as you're very, very, very careful and we can trust you. Nobody drinking and driving on there. So Brittany Renee does not know how to drive a stick shift. But if you share the stream, hey, it's a great date night. Alley on Main gift card. The slingshot, if you're the chosen winner. So everybody, let's get down to it. What is the one thing that you wish you could take back? Is that you on there, the big kahuna? Are you on here, friend? My man, right now, if it gets any hotter, you're going to have to come over here and take care of our AC. Because it's hot out there. So, hey, no one action has caused me enough regret to not want to go back through it. So that's not exactly what I'm going to talk about tonight. There's not one thing that has happened to where I'm like, you know what? This derailed my life. Do you understand what I'm saying, Brittany Renee?
So your title, your question's a little misleading then.
Well, this is for everybody. So, hey, by the way, I do have my girlfriend, Brittany Renee, in studio. She helps me every Thursday night. So, hey, who on here has something that they regret? And you don't have to say this, but just ask yourself, has something from your past that you caused? Because I do believe everything happens because of you somehow. I mean, I do take on that mindset, that responsibility. So ask yourself, is there something that you wish you could take back? And I'm going to get to mine. Have you thought about this? Do you ever think, I wish I would have not done that? Have you gotten past all that? Is there one thing you wish you wouldn't have done? Because
I'm in a point in my life, though, where I don't think about that stuff. Like, I honestly, when you sit here and ask me that and put me on the spot, I can't think of one thing that was that terrible that I would just have to regret.
Okay. So you're looking at everything probably from a perspective, everything I've done has probably helped me some way.
I feel like you grow from a lot. I mean, sometimes you got to go through crap to get, to the good. So, well,
I can say this, every setback, and I've had a lot of damn setbacks. I've had a lot of problems in my life, but every setback has taught me a lesson. It's also given me an instinct for present and future situations. So everything that has happened to me during the moment, it probably seemed like it was the biggest thing. I would never get past it. Victoria, life is too short for regrets. You live and you learn from all mistakes.
Yes, ma'am. I believe it.
Do all people learn from mistakes?
No.
Victoria. Hey, John Turner, how are you doing, friend?
Mindset. I mean, you either do or you don't. It takes a strong person to get through stuff.
Are you thankful for your mistakes? because this is my mindset today. Every time I have a boo-boo, I look at this as I'm either building knowledge or some type of an experience. And usually both of these come with a costly education. Knowledge and experience. Usually, hey, Dale Jr., how are you doing, friend? Do you wish you would have never left Ashland City, Dale Jr.? Knowledge and experience, it's usually coming with a cost. And I'm thankful for it. Every time I go through something, I'm glad that I experienced it later. But during that time, I'm just like anybody else. I'm very, very, I'm an emotional cat. And Brittany Renee, I got to battle my emotions because I can react. I've gotten better as I've gotten older because the tank, Clayton Whitaker, how you doing, friend? Hey, what's your biggest regrets, Dale Jr., if you can say them on here? You know, I think me and you probably have similar regrets. Clayton Whitaker, what is your biggest regret? You know, Tiffany, you're right. Cost equals wisdom for the next step. The mountaintops and the valleys. Cost equals wisdom for the next step in life. You know, I do think you've got to look at things as what you're going through is preparing you for that next step. It is going to... What are you doing over there, Brittany Renee? Are you on the boutique? Hey, are you doing something with the boutique with the exchange right now? Is that what you're doing? So
I'm putting stuff on my calendar so I don't forget.
Okay, Brittany Renee's over here with her own agenda, I think, tonight. So, but I think it's okay to ask yourself, do you really regret anything? And I think it's okay. Okay, now we're getting somewhere, Dale Jr. I wish I'd have started as an entrepreneur sooner in life. A smooth sea never made it for a skillful.
So is that considered a regret?
It is a regret because it is, in my opinion. It is. It is a regret because I can't do anything about that. I wish. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all mine right now. I regret playing small.
There we go. I regret playing small for so long because my surroundings discouraged going big.
Okay.
That's more so a regret.
Well, tell me if you think this is an option. I wish I could have changed my limited beliefs in my life sooner. I was very limited in the way I think. I was very limited.
You regret being limited in your small thinking.
Yes. Well, I regret the limitations that I put on myself. I regret not believing more in myself. My good buddy Tony Woodall, he actually stole my thunder when he said this. I wish I could have believed in myself sooner. How about that? I don't know if that's thinking small.
Broke people early in life. Broke people will give you broke advice.
Okay, so I'm going to break down like some areas that I wish that I would have believed in myself sooner. I'm 44 years old, and the purpose of what I'm doing is I wish I could go back and tell myself what I know now at 30. So am I saying that right? At 44, I wish I could speak to myself at 30 and say, look, dude, this is what you need to know. This is what you need to... I didn't know how to do this because I think it was Dale that said I had a lot of people in my life that were influencing me the same way they were living their life. And these people were good people. Stephen Weathers, I appreciate you getting on here, Dan the man. Congrats on Isabel. If you're just on here, I would really appreciate if you share the stream. We're going to go back and look, and we're going to choose one winner. The winner will get a gift card, $25 to the Alley on Main. If you're a responsible person, you will also get my slingshot for the day. You of course will have to sign a waiver to make sure that I can't be sued if something happens. So hey, are you asking yourself, what are my greatest regrets? So if we're thinking like that, do you have any regret? Brittany's 32 now, right? Mm-hmm. 32 years old. She's a lot further advanced than I was at. I only share it one time, Stevie. I wish I could quit work and started Fortress Nutrition early. Best thing. That's what I'm talking about, Brian. Hey, thank you, cousin Julie. So looking back, I mean, at your age, if I was where you are right now, I don't know if I could say, hey, you probably regret not discovering this at 25, maybe. Or are you glad?
I don't know if I would have been mature enough at 25.
Okay.
To be able to handle something like
So,
this.
Brittany
Probably
Renee,
wouldn't have taken it as seriously, even though I do have a passion there. It's just different at 25 versus even 30, 32.
hey, Mama, I love you.
I can say that honestly. But I would say my one regret is it's more so in the relationship department. And it's putting up with, what I didn't deserve for so long and not allowing the things that I do deserve.
Okay. Is that your biggest regret with it, man? Because looking into how you live your life, I would say you're very good at that. But, maybe you want to be better. Hey, Mama, I love you. So, Brittany, you've got a regret for putting up with things in relationships where I've got some regrets on how I was in relationships.
Yeah, I'd probably be the opposite.
Because I'm an only child. My mama raised me. She loved me. I was her little world. And as I got older, I expect, hey, now hold up now. Let me be the center of your world. I need to be the center of your world. That ain't fair, and and I'm talking about for the other people. I wish looking back that I would have been a better partner, but I wouldn't change where I'm at. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Well, yeah, because then I think, if I would have started allowing that in my life earlier on, then would I have met you, baby?
So, Richard, you have mentioned Relentless several times. Hey, I love you, baby. That book has had a profound impact on you the same way I remember the first time Michael Burt had Grant Cardone on his radio show. This was years ago. I think it was probably 8 years ago. And when I heard Grant Cardone in this interview, what he was saying, it was like a switch went off. Like look at what I'm doing. I was admitting this stuff to myself. And I got to meet Grant Cardone on April. I think it was Sell or Be Sold was the first book, Ryan. But he was on, Carrie Latham, Never Living in New York City. That's a regret I've got. I'm 44 years old. I've never moved away. Think about that. Those are things like... one of my best friends lives on the beach, and he's 43 years old. He's retired. He sold a real estate company. Most of you probably know who he is, but he's been down there, and my buddy is very introverted. He could just kind of stay down there and not talk to anybody. Well, he's developed this buddy of his. He stays in his chairs on the beach. He's a homeless guy. He stays in his beach chair. And Scott goes down there and just carries on conversations with him. This guy's 29 years old. He's a graduate of David Lipscomb. He quit a corporate job. He sold medical devices. At 29 years old, he is a beach mom. He's a homeless guy living in Seagrove Beach. Now, some people are going to be sitting on Scotty's chairs. Some people are going to say, this guy's throwing away his life. And I could say, think about the experiences that he's going through right now. Think about all the things you did from 20 to 30 years old. During that time, you thought, I've got to move forward. Mm-hmm. Think about those. But really, how productive were you during those years? Mm-hmm. After college, I can say this with 100% certainty. I didn't really accomplish much. I didn't really develop any skills. Would I have been better off to travel the world? Would I have been better off? Hey, I hate flying. It'd been hard for me to do it. But would I have been better off just moving down somewhere and just trying to survive for 2 years? What do you think about that?
On Survivor, honey.
Well, I don't know if I could have done Survivor, but what would I
naked and afraid.
Think about living without fear? This guy's 29 years old, and some people are going to say, man, this guy's throwing away his life, but he's going down there, didn't know a soul. He's living on a beach chair. Now, they're kind of running him away, but think about the mindset that you'd have to have.
Well, if he didn't have that beach chair and he wasn't looking at those waves, where does he go?
I don't know, but think about how he's going to be at 32 years old, because he can definitely develop some skills and get a job, and he's going to have a very cool perspective on life. The people that aren't scared to take chances. I wish, hey, there's a lot of things I need to go back in here and say my biggest regrets, I didn't take enough chances. I didn't take enough chances when it came to controlling my fears. I didn't do things that, like Richard Branson's a guy that I think everybody should follow. He started like a magazine, then he went to Virgin. Have you ever heard Virgin Records, Virgin Airlines? You ought to just research this guy, man. He just lives like the ultimate life. And he doesn't put one perspective just so big that he's scared to death he's going to lose it. I mean, he's a billionaire, but I don't think he has fear of losing his money. I don't think he has the only fear he probably has is losing himself. I know I have rambled on for a while. Brittany Renee, throw a question at me.
Well, we have a comment.
Okay.
Well, actually, two now. We have Julie says, my biggest regret is messing my credit up when I was young and never recovering from it. Now I'm settled down and would love to own my own home.
Well, hey, we can help get you there, girl. And it ain't too late. I mean, you can do things to fix that. I mean, that's. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of time, but hey, you can still fix that. That's something moving forward that you can fix. What is Doug Atkin, my workout partner, saying?
Doug says, I think we got it wrong by going to college right out of high school and trying to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. Need life experiences first.
Man, that's so right. I don't even know how to say I wish I would have done that. But I think I had such a fear, if I don't go right now, I'll never go to college. Mm-hmm. And it was very important for my mom for me to do that. So I did it.
Right.
But looking back, you know, I was really going into something that I didn't know. I thought maybe I'll find what I want to do while I was there. The funnest job I had was working through college. I worked for Kenny Jones, an electrician here in town, and that was the most fun I had right out of college. I was rushing to get through college. It took me 5.5 years, but you know what? I was still in a rush. You know, I was such a half-assed student, trying so hard to get through school. Very, very unproductive. Didn't do me any good. Then I took a job at J.C. Bradford. And I kept going from one dead-end job to another. Now, granted, it was a job you had to have a degree, but they were dead ends. They didn't teach me anything. I don't recall having any skills from jobs outside of college until I got where I'm at. Mm-hmm. We got a question.
Don't fail because you don't try. And then Tiffany says, I'm having connection issues, but my biggest regret is focusing on weaknesses instead of strengths. When I finally found my career path, I found my strength.
Now, I've always had this opinion, Tiffany. I'm not a believer in working on my weaknesses because I'm not very good at it. And I feel like I've got a very limited upside. No matter how hard I try, I'm not going to get very good in that area. And some people are going to probably disagree with that, but it's always been my belief to focus more of your time on where you've got the most potential.
Yeah. I mean, it's always easy to beat yourself up over something that you did wrong or you didn't do good enough, but you got to focus more so on the positives and what you're good at.
So how do we get past things like me at 44 and Carrie Latham saying she wished she didn't move to New York? Those are things... And I think you see you see people like you'll see with Nicholas, and let's just say if he gets a girlfriend and he's going to marry her, he's 16 years old, he goes to the same college. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, but think about what you miss out on.
Well, hey, you're in a position now where you and Carrie are what? Top 100 realtors in Murfreesboro? Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you
I think I'm top 10.
You guys can both, at this point in your lives, go and experience other places. I mean, I know it wasn't earlier in life, but I mean, you guys have chances now where you could go and experience other places, whether it be go on vacations to places you've never been, or even invest in a house somewhere.
But why does it feel like we can't? Why does it feel like now we just can't do that? Because you're exactly right. Carrie Latham, if you're still on here, why do we feel like we can't go do things right now? Why do we feel trapped right now? Why are we putting this pressure on us right now?
Because right now you still feel like you're not reaching your fullest potential, so you're investing all this time to do that.
Well, let me challenge that and ask this. Do you feel like, now, I don't know if you know what my day's like, but do you feel like it would hurt me if I were to take off for a few weeks and go do that?
Yes.
Would it?
Yes.
Do you feel like I'm that productive? Do you feel like I'm always clicking on also?
Sometimes your presence and you being in certain situations and available for advice and help is enough. I mean, that is...
Well, hey, I'm thankful for that. So I'm going to break down some things I wish I would have started this sooner. There's nothing, hey Jessica, how are you doing, friend? There's nothing that I can do about the past. And it's never a good idea to live in the past. I think when you live in the past, you're living in pain. I think when you live in the future, you're living in fear. And I think the hardest thing we do is to live right now, presently. Would you agree? But if I could go back, I wish I would have been more focused on my finances. People have talked about getting into credit card debt. I had some credit card debt. I had some other debt that was just stupid. You know, a lot of it was tied to real estate. It was me. I wish I would have paid more attention when I started making a little bit of money to taxes, because early in my career, I would always have to play catch up with my taxes because it never was taken out. I wish I would have saved money. Looking back, I'm going to tell you what you should be doing. You should be saving money first out of every paycheck. It needs to go into an account, and then you just find a way to live on what you're making. Hey, what are you doing over there? Are you posting? Are you researching?
No.
Ask me a question.
Ask you a question?
Yep.
Well, I mean, as we're sitting here talking, I do have, I guess, a regret, but it's not really a regret because people may get the wrong idea, okay? So...
Before you said, I want to tell you this. It's okay.
Why?
It's okay to regret stuff.
Well, I had Nicholas really young.
Yep.
And looking back, I feel having a child that young, you take the early years for granted.
Yep.
Whereas now, at my age, I feel like having a child that young, I wouldn't. So I regret the age that all took place, but I don't obviously regret that.
And that's okay.
So it's kind of hard to say, but I mean, I look back and there's so many things that happened early on that I didn't get, I don't know, as involved in or as excited about or as,
Yep.
And I think it just has to do with age.
And you are very mature for your age, and you're probably mature at 25 years old, I'm assuming.
Well, I mean, yeah.
You didn't have a choice.
Right.
Well, one of my biggest regrets is I kind of screwed around too long. I mean, I wish I would have gotten serious about discovering my potential. I'm 44. I feel like I'm running out of time, but that's not true. That's just a lie that I'm telling myself. I've got to stop thinking that I'm running out of time. I mean, that's when I'm 60 years old, I'm going to be thinking, man, I wish I would have done this at 44 years old. So, like, I've heard,
at 44. And
I am 44 years. So, if somebody were to ask you, hey, what do you want to do during your lifetime? And then you answer. Then they said, well, what if you had 10 extra years after your lifetime? What would you want to do? Why don't you go ahead and do that stuff right now?
Right. We had hours later, and now we have to take them into account when making choices that people our age can do stuff because their kids are older. You're going to be a very, very light travel overseas. I think what I was kind of getting at with what I said, and is I feel the older I get, the more sensitive and emotional I am. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
What do you think that is?
Well, I mean, I guess what you just said. You feel like you're kind of running out of time. So the older you get, like you don't take advantage of moments, and you really embrace them, and you make every moment count, and you just really, it's just different. It's a different mindset. Like when you're younger, you feel invincible. Like you feel like, but now it's just time goes on and you don't.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I feel like I'm old, okay? And I feel like, Ryan, you're saying what you would have done in your 20s, you're 35. It's okay. You still got plenty of time to do these things, even though your mind, what are you laughing?
Ryan, I wish I would have not chased tail in my 20s.
I remember Ryan in his 20s.
Chasing some tail.
Yeah.
You did too, baby.
People will, okay, so all these things that I'm regretting, I am going to this one thing that I want to talk about because for so long, I have focused on the wrong things. Roy, we miss you. I don't even know if we're going to do breakfast tomorrow. But, hey, who wants one of these T-shirts, by the way? You like this T-shirt, this hoodie, the hashtag GTT? I wish that I would have gotten more serious about developing myself 15, 20 years ago, but I didn't. I wish I would have gotten more serious about things. But I'm going to tell you, I feel like it's worth the wait now because I have found my purpose. How many of you people on here know your purpose? Just get in the back. Man, you're 38. I wish I'd have done it at 38, Mario.
I agree, Teresa. That's exactly how I feel.
But, hey, Dave Thomas, you get to get that slingshot out again, buddy. But I found my purpose, and I have not. I found my purpose maybe 2 years ago, and if you don't know my purpose, I have a vision of building the GoodTimeTommy brand to where 131,000 people know me. And they know me for real estate, but they also know me as making a difference in people's lives. Because I feel the best. I feel energized whenever I'm talking. There's roughly 20 people on here right now, but I feel great whenever if there's 200 people on here and I was saying things from my life that made you think on how you could improve your life. I feel very, very good about myself when I do that. I feel like I've got a story because 131,000 people in Murfreesboro, Mario, and you know what? That's probably too small. My goal should probably be 250 or 1 million people to know who I am. I want to be known as somebody that's made a difference. I want people to know that, hey, it's okay to have a bad first half of life. And I'm making that kind of a loose term. 35 years old is kind of whenever I started figuring things out. But Hey, I love that. Hey, I got some people up there in New York.
Share this stream, Mario.
Share it. Hey, maybe I got a buddy, Tony Riccio, that lives up that way. But I'm proof that you can be very, very average for most of your life, and there can be something to switch where you start to hit your unlimited potential. Thank you, Mario. But I think that's very rare that people usually give up on their potential at 35 if they've got so much of a track record behind them that says, hey, I'm pretty half-ass at life.
Right.
But the one person in my life, Grant Cardone, I remembered I was driving around in my car. Michael Burt, one of my best friends, had him on the radio. And this was when Grant Cardone was 51 years old. And if you hear him talk, he was nothing at 51 years old. Nothing. But he was talking and hit me. He was saying stuff like success is your duty, your obligation. If it's not for you, it's for your mama. That's what hit me when he's talking about. I felt like, I'm letting my mom down because there's so much stuff that I could be doing that I'm not doing. And what that does, I found, is it will lead you to some type of depression. I'm not saying like a deep depression, but if you're playing your life right here, but deep down you know you should be at this level, this causes you to think bad about yourself. That gap right there. Mm-hmm. Do you see that, baby?
An insecurity gap.
Well, I think you kind of feel like you're letting yourself down.
Right.
Tyler, I don't know if you know this or not, but I went to Grant Cardone's office, me and Brittany, in April. Hey, a big regret I've got about this is I think we spent about 4 hours there. It was a long. We're there for a long time, and this meeting was probably the coolest thing that I've ever was anticipating in my life. I mean, other than Brittany Renee, and man, I had all my notes. I was going to walk in there and I was going to tell him my story, and he's like, "Hey, man, bring her back here. Bring your girlfriend back here." And I'm like, "No, man, this is me and you time." You know, that's how I was thinking. He's like, "No, you need to go get her." And he was about to get up and go back there and get her. And I was thinking, you know, this is going to interfere on our relationship. Talking about me and Cardone. You know, hey, she's going to get in the way of what I could build here. And that was stupid because there's so little I can recall from that meeting. All those things. He said, "Man, you should have brought her in here." And she did come in there. She did the second half. The second half, she did come in there, and she can still help me recall that. But one of the things that he taught me that day is it's okay to admit to yourself that you're letting yourself down. A lot of people don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. They want to find ways to justify. But he's like, man, it's okay. It's okay to admit to yourself you're letting yourself down. Right. It's okay. Tell yourself the truth. Hey, Adam Valentine, how you doing, friend? But
sometimes you have to have those tough conversations. You know,
people
not only with your friends, but yourself.
People don't want to have those tough conversations. Kyrie, how's Las Vegas? People don't want to have the tough conversations. They don't want to.
You just get a picture.
Yeah, they don't. Why we want to kind of sugarcoat and tell ourselves that things are probably better than they actually are. Why is that? It probably makes us feel good about not putting out as much effort as we could be. So if I'm sitting here saying, oh, it ain't that bad, that means tomorrow I can kind of go in and give another half-ass effort day. You understand?
Yeah.
I need to raise my expectations. I need to raise what my actions are. And we can all do that. Everybody on here, I don't know if you're asking yourself, but if you saw what the title of the show was, what's your biggest regret, I think you should be thinking. I think you should ask yourself, am I doing everything I can to reach my potential? Because most of us probably are not. Most of us are probably seeking comfort instead of being uncomfortable to reach their potential. 10X, that's right, dude. Go ahead, Brittany.
One of the things I see is when you find yourself in a rut, you find yourself in a situation where in the future you're going to say that's regret or whatever. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing that people aren't doing is taking action to make a change. It's so common to just drown in your, situation and just feel bad about yourself and not really make a difference or make a change. But until you make a change, nothing's going to change. It's up to you. So that's one of those hard conversations you have to have with yourself and just kick yourself in the butt until something happens, or else nothing's ever going to happen.
Roy Frazier said it's scary outside the comfort zone. But you know what? Really, life doesn't really start to begin until you get outside of your comfort zone. Just going in and doing the same old thing the rest of your life.
And sometimes these comfort zones become uncomfortable zones. If you're in them for so long and nothing changes. It
then you're stuck. Yeah. You feel like it's too late. It ain't too late. Weatherman, you still on here, friend? Roy Frazier, my mama. Grant Cardone always talks about. Well, that was one of the things he was talking about when he was on the show with Bert, was Cardone talking about taking massive action. And, I was looking at my life and I'm like, you know what? I haven't taken enough action. And it's okay to admit that. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. Like my girl, Stephanie. Hey, where are you guys, Stephanie? Patton, are y'all all over the world right now? I've been following your journey. Hey, that's an awesome thing. Stephanie is on here and I think they took off in an RV. Wouldn't that be a cool experience just to say, you know what, we're going to do this? How much fun would that be?
I think that would be a lot of fun. That's what my mom and my stepdad are trying to do right now. Get an RV and go take off.
My mama said, I want to see you. Hey.
You see my hair?
Hey. You didn't know that was coming, did you, Brittany Renee?
No. Look, my screen's blacked out. You ruined the connection.
Mama, she's on there. That hair. Hey, Brittany Renee, that's somebody. Let's talk about her. I do want to brag on her, how she has probably found her calling. She probably would have regretted if she didn't do something new. And one day she just said, this is what I'm going to do. And it was like a switch. It went from, I'm going to do this to she did it. And all this stuff. It's amazing how quick it happened. And now, hey, I wake up a lot earlier than Brittany Renee. But some mornings, she's waking up when I'm waking up, and she's over there, she's getting her little day ready. I didn't see that 2 months ago. Hey, don't get on there. Hey, Fallon, how are you doing, girl? Thank you for getting on here.
I see you.
Can you not?
Well, it's all black on my side. Let me see if I can get on my phone.
You know, it is, Teresa, that is a good point. It irritates me when people lie to themselves about their life. They accept that life will always be mediocre. I accepted for way too long that my life was mediocre. And I still, luckily I've got friends that are in such a better place than I am that they're pretty much telling me, dude, your life's mediocre. You should be doing more. I'm thankful that I've got people in my life that are doing that today. My voice is going out, baby.
Connection.
Oh. So, hey, as we get off here, just think about what's your biggest regret, and give yourself the permission to say, hey, that is a big regret. Own it. Move on. Too often people want to prove themselves right. Like, hey.
Me?
No, I think people do. I think people they don't want to admit something, and it probably prevents them from moving on. The sooner you can admit fault, the sooner you can admit that you shouldn't have done something, I think it helps you move on faster. So, hey, do we have any questions? I'm spinning.
Yeah, and then black on here.
Hey, I don't know if I've told anybody, but next week, me and Brittany Renee are going to Gatlinburg with Nicholas, and I might regret
at the Smokies.
Wilderness at the Smokies. I might regret that. I don't know, but we're only going to be there Friday night and Saturday night.
Just a little short getaway.
Just a short getaway. So we are still eating pizza. Roy, we are definitely eating pizza on Monday. If you can do 11 o'clock at Sal's Pizza.
Is it a big party?
I don't know. We're really looking forward to this. I mean, 21 days of starving myself. I'm really getting past that. Hey, I wish that I was a fat guy from probably out of college. I started having desk jobs and I wasn't doing anything. When I graduated high school, I was probably about 210 pounds. But I remember I got up to 240 just like that. For too long, I was fat. I felt too fat. And then I went to the doctor a couple years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and I was type 2 diabetic from being a fat guy. That's a regret I've got.
But you're not fat.
Well, I'm back now. I'm at 215 right now. I need to be under 200 pounds. But I've got to own the fact that I can't be a healthy person unless I'm under 210 pounds. Hey, it's okay. Just put it down.
Like it.
So, me and my health are very important. And I've been on a 21-day challenge with Rod Key, and it's been 6 days a week. It's been very, 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 very tight meals. I didn't do what I was supposed to. But I've got to get under 200 pounds. Hey, look at what Sam said. I regret not seeking out GTT and the Weatherman 4 years ago, but that was about to be... Hey, I like that, Sammy. Hey, Swifty. We call him Swifty. Hey, Jill Bacurin. So I really regret that I let my health go. Man, I'm sitting here and say all these things. But now I'm in control, no matter what happened
Maybe
yesterday.
you should prepare more often.
You like
You're
it better
on a
now?
roll. Yeah.
What is LT360 has an office in Murfreesboro? What is that?
I don't know. Is that a workout training?
Sounds like a workout thing.
thing?
Well, we've been running a lot, and I think, hey, when I came back from our last trip, I was 227 pounds. I felt like I was going right back to Fat Boy Tommy. Now I'm back down to 215. So, hey, you've got to be on 214 some mornings. So it's okay to tell yourself, hey, this ain't good enough. And there's got to be something. It's easy for me because I don't want to be on medication. And my doctors told me, if you don't get these numbers down, my blood sugar's always fine, but my cholesterol has I think it was like 240. And if you're diabetic, they do not want they really want you on, they want you to be on cholesterol lowering medication, but I don't want to do that. So, if anybody has, hey, I appreciate all the loves. And again, if you just got on here, like, share, comment. If you share the stream, and if you're chosen, you will win a $25 gift card to the Alley on Main, which is my favorite restaurant. And as long as my insurance guy, Roy Frazier, says it's okay, we're going to let you start. I'm going to let people get that slingshot out, losing connection. We are losing the connection, Mama. So if you don't know what a slingshot is, it's from Sloan Cycle. You can go up there and rent them for a day, or you can go up there and buy them. Just talk to my buddy Matt Sloan. But it's a cool thing. It's a 3-wheel, like a little motorcycle, but you only have to have a car. You only got to have driver's license. You don't have to have motorcycle license. So share the stream. Please continue to follow this. I always want to come up with content that's relevant to my life. My story was I'm an only child that my mama raised me to be the center of her universe. I went to Riverdale, then MTSU, and I was a very, very average person for too long. And all that started to change about 6 or 7 years ago. And I just want to tell people this is what I've done to make that happen. So please continue to watch Straight from the Gut. Please comment. I'm very, very open about anything from my past and anything I can do to help you. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next Thursday night before we go to Gatlinburg. Also, tune in every Wednesday, Real Estate 101, 1 o'clock with me and AKA The Weatherman. Guys, have a great night.
Good night.